Hello, my powerful people, and welcome back to my channel, Purple RX. I'm Renata, your friendly and resourceful PharmD, and here to talk about this vast health and wellness world that's in front of us that we all see, and just taking it through a more holistic perspective and giving insights and helpful tips to help you find out what exactly works for you because there are so many options, but not everything is for you. So, today we're going to talk about probably saw by my title, we are talking about obesity in the Black community. In our community, it is something that is substantial and has been an issue, and we have just kind of scooted around it and acted like we shouldn't worry about it. But there's also been bigger things at play. So there was an article, I think it was in Cosmopolitan, and on the cover there is a beautiful Black woman, and she's doing a yoga pose, and she is what we would call overweight, obese. I don't even know her exact weight. I couldn't even tell you, but most people might call her fat. One, there is a movement that I believe is great, and it's called the body positivity movement. That is a great movement. It is a great movement because at every stage, you should be able to love your body, whether you after you've had a baby and gained 70 pounds, you should be able to love your body because your body was able to get you through that. We have to learn to love our bodies and not let our body dictate our mood or who we can be or who we can't be and restrict us. And a lot of that in America based on image has come about. But in this article, they're speaking about this is healthy. And that's something that we really need to tackle because we get through all these movements, and then later on, after this movement has gone on, we've been like, oh, that movement was so toxic. No, it wasn't. There was a great point to the movement, but people become so cult-like within that movement. So that's what makes it toxic. We should all love our bodies. This body positivity movement is allowing us to learn to all love our bodies at every state because our body is keeping us safe, allowing us to get up and go in the morning, do the job we want to do. And sometimes it's wearing us down, and there's some things that we need to change. And body positivity was something that was great to remind us that to love our body and thank our body and appreciate our body. Because if you really be honest, if you don't get into that, and if you don't have that, no matter at what weight you are, it's going to be hard to maintain a healthy lifestyle because then you're looking at your body as your enemy and instead of as something that's there to help you and giving you the life and the life force that you need. So something from this article is they put a Black woman on it, and I was like, what are they trying to say? And everything nowadays has just been race related. They've made it political based. They've made it something. So obesity in our community has really hit the Black community in a hard and dire way. I want to say that because we are 1.3 times more likely to be obese or overweight compared to white people. And 4 out of 5 Black women are overweight or obese. So how do they determine this overweight or obese? Usually it comes from your body mass index, which is basically your body fat percentage based on your height and weight. So for my height and weight, I could probably go up to 160. Above that, I'm going to be called overweight, or I'm going to be overweight, and that would be starting to get into a zone that could put me at risk for certain diseases. If I'm underweight can also slightly put you at risk. Not as much risk, very little risk. It could put maybe a frailty or not enough, but it's not going to be as much of a risk. And most time, body mass index is based off your body fat. So if you have muscle and you're very muscular, you wouldn't really be the body mass index scale would not really even be helpful for you. So overweight for a body mass measurement of 25 to 29.9, that is considered overweight. For obese, it's 30 or greater is your body mass. If your body mass index is 30 or greater. And healthy is 20 to like 24.9 is going to be healthy. And if you're under 20. So also what people also have to take into account is when men have a waist circumference of 40 inches or greater. So whatever your waist size is, or women are 35 inches or greater, those are 35 inches or less, excuse me, and 40 inches or less are going to be in a healthy group. And you got to remember, these are just generalized amounts that they have seen based on mass populations and what has worked and what they have shown and seen risks in more in those people that go above 40 inches or go above 35 inches. This is not a end all be all parameter. So how does excess fat cause disease? Well, you got to remember, your body has only so many places that it can store fat. So if you have a limited amount of storage and you start storing things and you start adding excess fat and your body starts making excess fat, you end up storing it in organs that are going to hinder what your body can do. So it would in your neck. That's going to sit here and cause where a lot of people who end up being overweight have sleep apnea. What are you at risk factor for? You're at risk factor for cardiovascular disease, diabetes, um, some cancers, chronic disease such as liver, kidney, osteoarthritis. Like I said, sleep apnea. It puts you in depression because being obese can give you a poor mental health outcome because maybe you're comparing yourself to somebody else, or maybe your energy levels are down, or there's a lot of risks that it can put you at, as well as uh, um, poor health outcomes when it comes to pregnancy. COVID-19 is something new, other viruses. And think about it, 87% of people who have diabetes are either obese or overweight. That's just 87%. So that's over half the people are that have diabetes are overweight or obese. So that's putting them at risk for that and multiple diseases. So there are so many factors, especially in our community, that contribute to obesity. In our community, I believe food was like a safe haven for us. Food was a time for us to enjoy and to have comfort. That's why comfort food was our food. Soul food is comfort food. And it is our food because we took whatever leftover trash, whatever they considered was nothing, we took it over and we made it something special, something miraculous, something that now they want, and something that's so palatable out of something that they thought was not palatable. We made it into something. We are just such creative people that we made it into something that they never ever thought that they could make it into. And we took that, we made it great. And those things, and think about it, in slave days, you working hard all day, what you get is a good meal. And that probably was comfort for us. That probably was a safe haven. And that probably felt like home, just the food and just being able to have that kind of meal from whatever scraps they took, something that tasted good. And think about passing that down from generation to generation, where food is the time you come together and you're able to be as a family, no matter what's going on. When you're sitting down eating, it's y'all are sitting down eating together. And sometimes at this nowadays, maybe people aren't eating that much together, but food has been something that has been like I said, a comfort for us, and something that we have kind of relied on, and we have taken what was given to us that was not the greatest compared to them. That was the asses of animals, intestines of animals, and we made it something that was so great and so palatable, and knew how to clean it and take care of it and deal with it. And that is the creativity of Black people, and that is part of the greatness of us. And that is one thing that contributes to it. The diet and things that we have learned. But now as times have changed, a lot of us have learned that diet is not always helpful to us, helpful for us. So contributing factors, like I said, family influence, that was an influence that passed down from generation to generation to generation. We inherited how to make soul food, how to make greens, how to make all those things. Those were inherited. Those are things that we could pass down to our family. And that is a part of what has contributed to a Black community being obese, as well as certain diseases and meds. My meds, let me say, probably about a year ago, I had fibroids, and I want to say about 2 years ago, I had fibroids and I had gained some weight. And I also take prednisone. So it was very hard for me to actually lose weight. And it was very hard to me actually getting back to the weight that I felt comfortable in. And that was for me because I had not only to estrogen, the diet, not only fibroids contend with, let me get myself together. Not only fibroids contend with and the imbalance of hormones there, but I also was taking prednisone, and there was just so many more things that I had to contend with and fight with in order to find something that would work for me and to decrease inflammation in my body because it was getting out of control. Socioeconomic status. Um, socio in our neighborhoods, they treat us like nothing and give us the last. We have more clinics on our corners than we do access to healthy foods. Food deserts are real, and they are real in our community, and that is something that has to change, and that is something that is a part of our community being obese and being overweight, because the food that we have access to and that we have money for is processed foods, or foods that are just quick, fast, in a hurry, fast food, anything that is from the shelf that's frozen, because parents are working 2 and 3 jobs trying to make sure that their kids are alive and have food on their table and have a roof over their head, that kids are having to cook, and what they know how to do is heat up a hot pocket, heat up a little frozen pizza, heat up something like that. And so it starts sometimes with those things. And that definitely has to change in our community. And that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother video. And I'll give you that later. All right. Lack of sleep is so important. I've had to find that out. I am a person that is just go, go, go. You used to give me 4 hours of sleep. I could go and run circles around somebody who's had 10 hours because I had the energy. But as time went on, especially as I went through the period of fibroids and being overweight and being depressed within that, I got a lot of sleep, and sleep really helped change it, and my body, and I had to learn that when I wasn't sleeping, it wasn't really helping it. I gained more weight when I wasn't sleeping. I i was more agitated and moody when I wasn't sleeping. Age is also a contributing factor, as well as pregnancy. A lot of times in pregnancy, we as women are likely to gain weight because we're eating for two. Maybe there is some other health factor that's coming into play that's allowing us, like preeclampsia, that may be allowing us to hold water or hold things. Stress on our body. Stress alone is a factor, and that is a factor to obesity and being overweight. Because when I had stress, it was so hard for me to lose weight, and it was so hard for me to actually give my body what it needs. Quitting smoking. I remember my mom said one time when she quit smoking, she gained like 10 more pounds because she felt it was harder for her, because the hand to mouth sensation is, you either want to eat more and you're replacing that with smoking, or smoking just was a habit that made you forget about eating, and you just always smoked when you were nervous. And so now, instead of being a nervous smoker, you're a nervous eater. So there's so many other factors that contribute, especially in our community, but main ones that are in our community have to do with socioeconomic status, what is around you, what you're learning, and what we have access to, as well as family inheritance and influence, as well as certain diseases and meds. So with all these things that are against us, with all these things, that obstacles that seem to be in our way, with all these things where they're trying to say, yes, this one way is healthy than the other, how do we combat this? How do we look at this? Body positivity is a beautiful, beautiful movement. And it is a beautiful movement because it is teaching us that at every stage within our body's transformation, we should love it. Love every stage. Love it when I was 120 something pounds, and I was basically holding onto a wall to walk, and I needed a kidney transplant. I had to thank my body, because my body was pushing me through. It was holding me down. It was holding me down sometimes better than my own brain, my own mind could. My body was pushing me through, and I had to learn to thank and appreciate my body through that. And sometimes it didn't happen till after, when something was going out of whack. Body positivity reminds you that it doesn't, your body, how your body looks does not determine what it can do and how it is. And we, as individuals who see people that are overweight or obese, or what we consider or see as overweight or obese, we should not automatically be like, that person is unhealthy, or that person is lazy and fat and doesn't do this. We should stop putting labels on what we think something is based on the cover of the book. And you have to stop doing that with yourself. So how do we start changing how we look at ourselves? How do we start changing this our community just being wrecked with obesity? One, yes, look at our bodies and be happy with whatever stage we are. If you're 100 pounds overweight, be happy. Be happy that your body has carried you through that whole time and it's still carrying you through and it's still got the power to push you forward into something else and push you forward into better. But also with body positivity is about treating your body in a way to show it that you love it. And showing your body that you love it means eating right, giving itself healthy and nutritious foods. So your whole point, start by looking at yourself in a better way. Start by loving yourself whatever stage your body is at, because it has gotten you to where it's at. It has gotten you to love you no matter what stage you are in, and you should love your body no matter what stage you're in, because hey, it's been there for you. When you mentally haven't been there for yourself, your body has been there to hold you down, girl, guy, whoever, man, woman. It has been there to hold you down. So it's time to start, yes, loving your body, being positive about it at no matter what state. But also change your mindset. Stop letting this world tell you of what healthy looks like. Yes, there is no one set of what it's supposed to look like. There is no exact weight of what it should look like or exact anything of what it should. There is no perfect mold of this is how your body has to be, and if it's not this, you're not good enough. That's a lie that this world or that, because think about it, the body trends have changed every 10 years. First it was like a skinny white woman, big boobs, no butt, Pamela Anderson body. Now the body is a big boobs, big butt, small waist, which has been in the Black community, but the representation has come from a Kim Kardashian. The representation has come from a white woman to show us what our bodies should look like, and has wrecked us even in that. People are going out here getting BBLs and putting themselves in danger due to that. Again, whole nother video, we'll get to that. Nothing wrong with the BBL, but please know your risk. And please know that you don't have to get it. Be happy with your body at whatever it is. God made your body the way it was for a reason. And if you want to change it, do your thing. But don't change it based off of what you think the time is supposed to be or what a body you think is supposed to be or what somebody else will appreciate. Change because you want it or because you're happy with it and you want to upgrade or add something. But stop listening to those around you telling you what you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to do, when you're supposed to do it. They can't speak for you and your body. They can't speak for you and where you have to go and what it has to do for you. So in order to start this process, look at yourself and start with you. Start loving yourself at that moment and starting with self-love by making sure to feed yourself what it needs to have. Just start with you. As long as you start, it doesn't matter how many times you fail. You started. Just keep going and keep pushing. It does not matter. Number 2, learn and know your body. In order to really get into this process and really to have your body, if you want to be at a really healthy state, and I'm not saying it has to look a certain way or be a certain way. That's not it. You have to know your body, know your baseline. Know if you have high blood pressure, if you have diabetes or high blood sugar, if your heart rate is you just automatically have a low heart rate. You have cholesterol, you have any arrhythmias. Know those things about you. Any disease state, know all those. Know the ins and outs of it. Know what affects it. Know that you need to stay hydrated. Like I gotta drink a gallon of water a day. If I go work out, I gotta drink a gallon and a half. I have to make sure I have electrolytes, certain things, trace minerals, because those things I lose in taking medication. Know your body and learn what it does. Learn when it's best, and learn when it's not best. And learn when it's not at its best. Excuse me. I'll have to do another video on how to learn your body and know your body, but you learn what foods work for you. Your body tells you most of the time. Your body is usually like, if it's something that's good for it or it gives it energy, your body's going to keep going and it's not going to stop or slow your body down. If you eat a meal and you got to sit down, take a nap, that means that's too much and your body has to do all this work. And it's putting only energy into breaking down food because that food is harsh, intense, or a bit much for it to break down, and it needs a lot more work from that. Learn what your allergies are, bloating, like I said, what gives you energy, what doesn't. Know that if you're trying to lose weight, what's going to affect it. Like, don't go on a low salt diet and you may need higher amounts of salt because you have such lower like blood heart rate, or you have such a things like your thyroid is asking you for salt because it needs it, and I mean non-iodized salt. It's asking you for Himalayan pink salt, and it's okay. In certain aspects, know what works for you and what your body needs it to feed it. Because you may, since you have high blood pressure, high blood sugar, you may need more sugar than other people, and you being at a blood sugar of um, being at a blood sugar of maybe your baseline is 300. I've seen somebody, their baseline is 300, and you get down to try and do a low carb diet where you only doing 50 to 150, you may pass out, and that may just not be for you. So learn and know your body before you really get into trying to pick a diet for yourself, trying to be like, oh, I'm going to do keto, this is going to work for me. It may not be for you. It may be more harmful than it is helpful. So look at things from that aspect. Learn and know your body. Also, make a plan. If you don't make a plan, you are planning to fail. And when I say make a plan, you want to go hang out with your friends, you want to go do things, make a plan. Either eat before, or look at the restaurant and say, hey, okay, I can go to this restaurant. These are things I can eat here. Or make sure that you make a plan to know what your meals are for that week. So, okay, this week I'm cooking this, this, and this. Even if you don't cook it one day or 2 day, if you cook every day, make a plan to know what you're already cooking for those days, and if that works for your diet and works for yourself. And then if you go out that week, let that be your cheat meal or whatever kind of meal that you want. But make a plan for yourself. Make a plan for exercise, for workout, whether it's giving yourself 10 minutes a day to work out, or giving yourself 30 minutes to an hour to go walk around the block. Give yourself that time. Give yourself that time. Kids, no kids, jobs, no jobs. Give yourself that time. That is self-love. That is important. That is body positivity. That is how we need to look at body positivity and self-love. It takes time. It takes those things. Don't let work get in the way. And sometimes it will, and you'll have to change your schedule and turn things around and move things around, but always try and make time for yourself to work out and to eat healthy and eat a right meal for you. Eat what's right for your body. Always make time for that. And it doesn't matter if you have kids. If your kids and they got activities, my mama used to be up at the gym when we would have soccer practice or have something like that. She would take her little outfits, change, and be running around the park watching us. Or if she needed to work out and it was just us at home, it was me at home by myself and my brother wasn't there to watch me, get your bike, get your rollerblades, you're coming with me. It was like, dang, Mom, I don't want to go. But she would make you go. And that taught you, she also taught me that exercise is important, and to take that time for yourself, not to just look good, but for your own mental well-being. Because to be honest with you, when it comes to weight or it comes to anything trying to stabilize it, 80% is what you eat, 20% is the workout. The workout has nothing to do with, it has more to do with building muscle, endurance, uh, um, in releasing endorphins, allowing serotonin to be released so that you can be happier and putting you in a great mood. That's what exercise is really about. Exercise is just like a little, it's kind of like eating is the taking a bath, the things you do on a daily, taking a bath, oiling your body, scrubbing your skin down daily. While the 20% for working out is when you go to an esthetician, get a body scrub, go get your nails and toes done, go doing all that, doing all those are extras to add a little bit extra to your look. That's basically what that's about. And that's basically how that works within that. If you've made a plan and you made a time, don't worry about it. Your plans are going to go off track every once in a while. Your plans will not go as planned, but you have to be able to be flexible with that plan, adjust it. Be able to, even with your budget, adjust your budget, even if it's just for you or you got 3 other kids. Focus on you and get your plan down before you try to put them on anything or make the whole world change. Focus on yours. So within that, after that, what's next? After you've made a plan, made time, get adequate nutrition. So your fourth one is to get adequate nutrition. That means eating whole and minimizing processed foods. So whole non-processed foods are important. Making sure you get enough, uh, um, depending on what diet you're choosing, whether paleo, keto, or just trying to being flexible. Me, I'm kind of flexitarian, where most of the time I try to eat non uh, um, mostly vegetable meals, non-meat, but every once in a while I'll have some chicken or some fish. Rarely you'll have some beef, and those will mainly be on the weekend. So 5 days a week, I try and focus on eating mainly vegetables and lentils and grains, and sticking to things like that, and juicing and doing smoothies for myself. And then on the weekend, I'll get fish or chicken if I go somewhere, or even if I make it at home. But make sure you're getting enough fruits, veggies, grains. God put all these wonderful things on the earth for us to eat and for us to get the nutrition from. And I get over time, as we have destroyed and our country has destroyed the soil, yes, you've lost some nutrients to it. But your best bet to do any diet, fruits, vegetables, getting adequate nutrition from those. Grains like quinoa and amaranth and forno, those are all great grains, and those are all great ways to get the nutrition you eat. Nuts. These things ain't grown on trees for us to look at. He gave them to us because they have so much nutrition and so much health in them that we need and that we can get that from. If you need to, I have a little garden. It's not on my balcony right now because we just froze over. Now we're back to 70 degrees, Texas for you, but it's not out on the. But I have kale. I eat arugula from that. If I ain't have time to go, I got arugula in my house. I got arugula. We have peppers. We have sweet peppers growing. Just grow a little few things. Just start off with a few things to make your own and to do your own. And things aren't going to be the same, but do your best to eat whole real foods instead of packaged foods, because you're getting more additives and more things that kind of take away from the nutrition that you need. So stick to those, stick to whole foods, stick to enough water, sticking to making sure you're getting enough protein, whether that's beans, whether that's legumes, whether that's um, even in veggies, kale, all of those, kale, zucchini, squash, just about all of those have some form of protein coming into them. Nuts, Brazil nuts are great. So making sure you're getting adequate nutrition, making sure you're drinking enough water. If you don't, try supplements that work. I will have to do a supplement video. Trace minerals are something we are short on. A lot of minerals. The minerals that are in the soil that we're short on. Trace minerals are a great and beautiful thing. I also know a naturopath that I will suggest in another video. So look at those things. I'll actually put the link to the naturopath, his site of certain things down below. And also, the last thing that I just want to add and put in there for this whole life change journey: be gentle with yourself. Be patient. I know that is the hardest thing. I am a Leo, and I am the least patient person. I am the person that's like, "Oh, you ain't gonna do it? I'm gonna do it myself. I got this. I'm done. I don't. No, I'm gonna do it. I'm that person. I am that person. So be gentle. I've had to learn to be patient with myself. I've had to, as I've gotten to 36 years, I've had to learn that I'm not going to lose weight in a week anymore. It may take months of being very, very consistent and very patient with my body, and stop stressing over myself, and stop being so hard on myself because something hasn't happened in the time frame I think it's supposed to happen, or something doesn't look the way I think it's supposed to look. Because we all look in the mirror and be like, my body does not look the way I think it's supposed to look. Not all, a lot of people are going to can have an issue in that way. Sorry, I bumped the camera. But take your time. Change takes time. True change, lasting change takes time. Because there's a lot of times you can lose 80 pounds in 2 months. I didn't see all those people's stories. And some of those people have gained that weight back. Some of those people have still have that weight back on and are still having a problem. So take your time. Take your time. Know what works for your body. Find what works for your body, because that takes time. That takes a lot of time to find exactly what works for you. That's going to take time. You're not going based off of what works for everybody. You're trying to find what works for you and your body and nobody else's. And don't stress about the failures. You're going to fail. Fail your way to success. You are going to fail. There is no doubt about it. Ask anybody. You're going to fail. You're going to fall off the wagon. You're going to get stressed and caught up in a meal, but let those failures teach you. If you're failing because you've gotten emotionally stressed and you've decided to eat, let that be let that be a lesson to you to say, okay, I'm an emotional eater. I need to deal with my emotions rather than eat them. You know, let it direct you to the best decision and the best way for you. So from this, I hope you got things that you needed, you got tips that you needed, and reminders to know that it's not the end of the world. Oh, yes, body positivity is a great movement, but what I don't want people to do is get caught in that and still not look at the risks that some things that over being overweight or obese can put on people. And there's risks everywhere. But just also know, what are you doing to take care of yourself and love yourself? And don't worry about what everybody else has to say. Don't worry about if they telling you you're not supposed to wear that. They telling you too this, you too that. Stop listening to everybody. Block those people out. Stop focusing on what anybody else has to say about your life, because this is yours and you get to determine what you want and what you need. But I also want you to be real about certain things and certain risks. And if you're comfortable where you at, then hey, so be it. You don't have to worry about what anybody says. But if there is some part of you that's still depressed, or you're feeling some of these risk factors, maybe it's time to look at some other options and some other ways to do things. So it's not time to beat yourself up. It's not time to do any of that. You have the power to change your life in any way, in any direction. You just have to figure out what works for you and put put those people out of your mind. Put those people that are telling you you're not this, you're not that, out of your mind. Now, if it's somebody trying to say, hey, I've had a problem losing weight, this is how it worked for me, I would take that. I would listen to that. But it's not the end of the world. In our community needs change. Our community needs better access. Our community needs better things, which I hope to put into this community online and into the community around me, in order to change those things, in order to change the access and the education and the thought process on how our bodies work, how they look, and how we can change it, and how we have the power to change so many things in our life. So if you have any questions, if you have any comments, they go down below. Like, share, subscribe. Please like, share, subscribe. Help. If you have any questions, again, you know where to ask me. I'm open to any question. Anyway, so thank you guys. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your love. And have a powerful and beautiful day.